Hello guys, so today we are going to talk about R&D and internationalization of innovation. For most of the 20th century, innovation was local. Innovation is the key to unlocking new opportunities and driving growth. R&D happened inside national borders in labs owned by one company in one country. But today, innovation has become globalized. We call this internationalization of innovation, where R&D, design and commercialization are spread across continents. Normally, you would not make innovation and development in a foreign country, but you can do that where it may be cheaper than in home country with the same people who stay there rather than coming to the home country. Internationalization of firms start with talent, not with market entry, and this tends to internal operations, communications, documentations, and investor relations. A company in Dublin might design an AI product using algorithms from India, manufacture in Vietnam, and sell in California. Global collaboration has made innovation faster, more cost effective, and more inclusive. But it also made it more complex. And why is that? Because now innovation doesn't just depend on technology, it depends on how companies manage knowledge across borders. They have structured R&D, networks, integrate ideas, and adapt to local markets. In this environment, R&D is not enough. What truly creates competitive advantage is the ability to translate innovation into value. And that's where we move from technological innovation to something far more strategic, which is business model innovation.
Now, let's talk about how product innovation is different from business model innovation. When we talk about innovation, we often think about new product or cutting edge technology, but innovation is not just about what we make, it's about how we make money from it. If a company does not find the right business model for its technology, it would not get the full value from it. But if others discover a better model for the same technology, they might gain more value than the original creator. We have an example of Xerox company from the research paper. In this stated that Xerox PARC lab invented breakthrough technologies like Ethernet, but they do not understand the true potential and sell the patent to 3Com. Xerox existing photocopy focused business model could not integrate this idea as they did not fit with its profit logic. As a result, 3M used innovative business models to commercialize this product successfully, capturing far more value than Xerox itself. So business model innovation defines how company create, deliver and capture the value. If any company changes and challenge the logic of the transition, they can disrupt all the model. So we have the famous model which defines us how we can find out the factors to change in business model innovation. This is the famous Osterwelder 6-point model which defines that value proposition which is given to the customers has different levers. The one is the client segments, the customers who we are offering the product, and then the second lever would be the client relationship, how we can add value to the relationship with our customer in terms of maintenance and other feedbacks. The distribution channel, how we can deliver the product to the customer, like we have seen the D2C, another emerging channel in the retail segment. Another, the revenue flow, which defines us the costing and the margins of the product. The other factor defines the key resources which is used for the manufacturing of the product. We can use the different raw materials in terms of we have the conventional coffee making, and now we have seen the other non-caffeine product also tapping into the retail market. The key activity involved, the processes and the step involved in the overall process which can also be tweaked. The cost structure is also influence the business model innovation in terms of how we are procuring and sourcing the raw materials. The other last factor is partner networking, how we develop the supplier for the long-term supplies and resources of our raw materials. So through the framework we have established the idea that BMI is not just an extension of R&D, it's the commercialization engine of innovation. A company can have world-class technology, but without sound business model, the innovation has no economical value. Think about it. Netflix did not invent movies, it reinvented how we consume them. Airbnb did not invent hospitality, it changed who could participate in it. Tesla did not invent cars, it reinvented the system of energy, software, and customer relationship around them. And that's what brings us to our next point, the opportunities and barriers of business model innovation.
So guys, now we will talk about opportunities and barriers in business model innovation. So basically, Henry Cheesworth, the father of open innovation, beautifully captured this idea. He said that companies spend millions developing technology, but almost nothing on innovating their business models. His research with Xerox revealed something remarkable, where Xerox Labs invented technologies like Ethernet, laser printing, as well as graphical user interface. Yet most of those breakthroughs didn't succeed within the Xerox company because they didn't fit the company's business model, where Xerox's dominant logic was to build around selling high-speed copiers and only the consumables like toner and other stuff which are related to printing. And anything that which is didn't increase copiers per minute was irrelevant to them. So what happened that those technologies become orphan. Some were taken outside the company and one of them became 3Com. The lesson was clear, even great technologies fails if it doesn't fit the business model. So Chesprog identifies several barriers to make business model innovation difficult, like cognitive barriers where managers get trapped in old mental models, what Prahlad called its dominant logic, and then comes asset conflicts where existing resources and processes resist change. Organizational barriers also come in factor where power structures and incentives tied to the old model block experimentation, and yet there were opportunities to through experimentation, through effectuation, and through leadership, where testing small scale models in new markets, acting first to create new data, learn fast. CEOs and managers were willing to challenge comfort zones as well. The magic happens when companies dare to rethink how they capture value. Like in 2007, the band Radiohead did something unheard of. They released their album in rainbows and told fans that pay whatever you want, even nothing. That was working for them. It was a direct challenge to the music industry's perceived non-divisibility thing, where the idea that an album must have a fixed price and a fixed structure. So by removing the boundary, Radiohead redefined value itself, and the result, they made more revenue than from any of their previous albums, proving that when you rethink how value is captured, you can reinvent an entire industry. These experiments show that business model innovation isn't just a strategy, it's a courage to have. So now let's connect everything, research and development, innovation and business models through one extraordinary story, the story of Magnum Photos. Founded in 1947 by Robert, Henry and some other people, Magnum was a rebellion. At that time, photographers worked under publishers who controlled every aspect, what to shoot, how to edit and who got credit. But these photographers valued freedom, truth and ownership more than anything else. They saw photography as not as a business but as a belief. So they did something awesome thing, that they created a cooperative business model where photographers own their copyrights, they can choose their projects and share revenue equally. This was a technological innovation, we can say, but it was a business model innovation born out of the values which Magnum Photos believed.
They perceived that activities like capturing, editing, and distributing images were non divisible. Separating them would violate integrity. So they innovated a model where those activities stayed together. Magnum believed that art was indivisible, that photojournalism couldn't be split into courses, collaborations, and or collectibles. So Magnum reimagined itself. They realized their core asset wasn't just photography, it was storytelling, authenticity, and heritage. They divided what once seemed indivisible, and from that came Magnum Learn, which is an online course teaching the art of visual storytelling. Second, Magnum Shop, which is selling limited edition and photo books. And third is collaboration with luxury brands like Gucci, merging documentary truth with fashion art. By embracing divisibility, Magnum unlocked new value streams without betraying their soul. Magnum transformed perceived non-divisibility into creative flexibility, and that's the heart of business model innovation, reframing what you think cannot change. And the results? A new governance structure, a new revenue model, and an entirely new way of working, one that still defines photojournalism today. What started as an act of resistance became one of its most iconic examples of value-driven innovation in history. And that's the deeper insight here. Sometimes value innovate faster than technology.
In the end, business model innovation is not about changing your product. It is about changing your perspective. Because when you realize that even the most established models are divisible, adaptable and reimaginable, you give yourself the power to outlast every wave or change. And perhaps the next great business revolution will begin the same way Magnum did, with the fewer people who simply refuse to compromise on what matters most.